I know I already made a video today, guys, but I just got a really good announcement. Super Mario Galaxy 2, one of my favorite 3D Mario games, is coming to the Switch, which is great, because I will be playing it again like I did back on the Wii, and I will be doing a boss rush for you guys. But the main topic of the video is going to be a major criticism of that particular new game. And that, for me, is the gyro controls. That game had some pretty freaking cool levels, that had some pretty freaking cool gimmicks that were ruined entirely, including some bosses, by the forced gyro controls. What? An example, I will give you a few of them. One of the levels had a really cool bird race, right? That you race other smaller birds to get the star. Sounds really cool and fun, right? But get this, the gyro controls ruin the effing race entirely. Want an even more appalling example? Oh, let me think. Oh yeah, one of the boss fights. I swear to effing God, one of the boss fights that would have been really fun was ruined. Completely ruined, giving it a D for actual fun-wise. I'm kidding. I'm actually giving it an F for fun-wise. This boss was one of the worst fights in the game. Even Pee-wee Piranha was a more fun fight, and that was the first boss. That's how much of a bad mechanic the gyro controls were, guys, because, and yes, I will spoil who the boss fight is, because it was one of the star ball type courses, which again was another really cool gimmick where you would ride on this ball with a power star inside it to the end of the stage. Seems fun, right? Get this, the gyro controls are how you control the ball, and you cannot turn them on or off, which I have. Imagine Splatoon and Paper Mario the Origami King forcing you to use gyro controls when you don't want to use them, right? Imagine the frustration, the anger, the unadulterated fury that you would be going through in your head for those games specifically, dude. That is basically what's happening with this game. One of my favorite 3D Mario games of all time, mind you. This is the only flaw that I have with the game. Everything else I love. The characters, the story is honestly better than the Galaxy 1 story in my opinion. And I know I will get a bunch of hate for that, on its own. But I don't care, it's my opinion. But especially the gameplay is what really makes the game my favorite, because I mainly judge based on gameplay. Which brings me to my big complaint. The gyro controls, they're part of the gameplay, and it ruined some of those mechanics. And otherwise would have been really cool actual gimmicks to add some extra oomph to those stages. But that's not even the worst part. The worst part about this is that they could easily have an option to turn the gyro controls off, just like with Origami King in Splatoon. Because when I found out that you could turn that off on both of those games, mind you, I automatically turned them off. Automatically. The second that I knew, at least for Origami King, I automatically turned it off. at that point. Now, I used to be a Splatoon gyro control defender until I got Splatoon 3, which is why that one doesn't really count of me automatically turning it off. But now I don't even use it for Splatoon, which some people think I'm nuts for doing, but it's like, have you played using gyro controls on Splatoon? It's awful. It's horrible. It's so awful, guys. Like, it's literally, it's at least a D rating in fun-wise with gyro controls. That is bad. That is horrible. Not good, guys. But back to the main frustration. I mentioned earlier that there was a boss fight that was ruined with the gyro controls. And you might be wondering who that boss fight is against. And there's actually 2 times that you fight this particular boss. Luckily, the other version of the boss wasn't ruined by gyro controls. And if you have played the game, you might know who I am actually referring to. But first, I will be going through the actual stage before the boss. The stage is with one... It is actually one of those rolling ball star stages. And if you played the game, you probably know who that boss is up against. The Silver Chain Chomp. It's a really, really cool boss fight, right? Or at least it would be if it wasn't ruined by you having to use gyro controls to move the star ball. The worst boss fight in the game, in my opinion, goes to that particular version of the boss. The other version of the boss, ish in that one, sand, galaxy that I cannot really remember the name of, was really, really fun, by the way. That version of it was fun. It was fun, hard-ish, and just overall enjoyable. The first fight against him, was ruined. Given the worst boss rating in the entire game, in my opinion, not because of the boss fight itself, but because of the gyro controls. I am yelling this into the effing mic, guys. Because of the gyro controls. That is the only reason why this boss fight sucks so effing badly. Because, ish, on its own, the boss fight sounds really, really cool. You have to use the star ball to actually defeat the, Silver Chain Chomp, right? It sounds really, really cool-ish as a mechanic-ish in a boss fight, right? But again, you have to use the gyro controls to move the star ball, which is where the main criticism of the boss comes in. It literally goes from a really, really cool boss fight-ish and mechanic for a boss to a horrendous boss fight. A horrendous boss fight. The worst boss fight in the effing game, mind you, in my opinion, goes to that particular first fight against that Silver Chain Chomp. And I know some people might give me flack for actually calling it a boss. I consider it a boss, personally. For me, I consider both of their encounters an actual boss fight. And spoiler alert, there is a time where you actually fight 3 of them at once, which is another boss fight. I actually completely forgot about that version. That version of the boss fight is easily my favorite boss. It's actually in one of the galaxies in World 6, actually, which, again, if you played the game, you will know where that boss fight takes place. It's right before the final boss, I think. But, again, that third and hard form was a blast. It was tough. Tough, fast-paced, hard, challenging, fun. But, again, it doesn't have the dumb gyro controls that ruin the boss, at least for the first encounter. which is why I don't like the first encounter. Literally the worst boss fight in the game. For me, personally. And not because of the boss itself, or or the concept. Both of those seem really, really cool. It's the gyro controls that ruin it and give it an F rating, in my opinion. And some people might consider that as being harsh. Not me, personally. It ruins the fight entirely for me. Not just the fight, but the stage entirely. Every part of that stage and gimmick and boss was ruined by the gyro controls. Not just the boss, but everything about the stage and the boss and even the gimmick seemed really, really cool to ultimately fall flat by using the gyro controls to control the ball. It bothers me, and this was a major complaint of mine from 3D All-Stars. I wanted them to actually fix that dumb gyro mechanic with an option 5 years ago when that game released. Ish, I think it was 5 years ago. Correct me if I am actually wrong. But yeah, even back then I was frustrated that they didn't give like an option to turn it off. And if they don't do it again, I will be even more mad, because if Splatoon and Origami King can actually do that before this new port of the game, there is no excuse. No effing excuse to not give that option to turn that god-awful mechanic off. Mind you, turning it off. Turn it off. Just give me that option and I will be satisfied. It will turn some of those stages to that particular boss fight to an really, really good, actually a fun boss fight, actually. But I'm sure you actually get the point, and actually I will be getting the game either for Christmas or my birthday, because it does come out around the time before my 6-year anniversary of actually becoming a Christian, actually, which is exciting, actually, that it'll be coming right before that 6-year anniversary, or not. Has it been 6 years? I think it'll be 7 years, actually. But that's not really the topic of the video. I hope you enjoyed the actual topic of the gyro controls. It is literally my only complaint about the first Galaxy and Galaxy 2, and it will be the same for the port, basically. But overall, I'm still excited. If they do change that god-awful mechanic, I will be even more excited. If they don't, it's time for me to get pretty freaking angry. But I hope you enjoyed, and I will be editing this video and everything, so yeah. Until next time, peace out, guys.